Hello everyone, this is Gen OS. It's a Bradbury native AI policy and escrow verification system built on Genlayer. So the idea is basically simple. So instead of manually checking whether someone has completed a task or job, Gen OS basically lets you create a mandate. You define the rules, you collect the evidence, and then you use Genlayer's AI consensus to evaluate whether the work should be approved or rejected. So basically, in simple layman's term, it's a project where you list out a job or whatever you want someone to do, and then the AI will evaluate whether the job was done properly and approve or rejecting it depending on the rules you specify. So I'm quickly going to show you how it works. I'll click my connect wallet, and then I'm just going to connect my wallet over here. Okay, so it has switched to Asimov testnet. Bradbury is live. So the first thing I'm going to do is mandate. I'll go to mandate, and then I'll just click new mandate. So I've got some parameters that I want to use to fill it already. So we're going to use a Gen OS repository delivery check. That's the example we'll be using. Okay, so this agent or operator address is my address over here. So the network by default is set to Bradbury. So now the natural language mandate is basically the language that the AI will use to understand the rules, not necessarily the rules, but the only the requirements that it's needed before it will release the payment. So basically, I say release payment only if the submitted evidence proves that the Gen OS GitHub repository exists, is publicly accessible, contains a Gen layer powered application with intelligent contracts, front-end. Reject if the evidence is private, unrelated, inaccessible, or does not show any meaningful Gen layer project work. I'll just click continue. And so over here we set policy checks. These are now like the basic rules. That's it must require this, if not it will just reject it straight up. So the rules are you can either use the custom rules over here, or you can use the laid out rules over here, or you type in your own custom rule. So my own custom rules are require the evidence URL, require the evidence to clearly refer to the requested work. Basically, these rules are just things that I want before I can pay the person. So I'll just click continue. Then here I'll just max per tax. I think this is the amount, the max amount that it will pay for the escrow, the maximum amount that the escrow can use within a single execution for a request. While this total mandate is the whole gain layer token that is released for the execution to be spent down within this budget. So okay, so I'm just going to set this to 1 and 5 first. Then the mandate expiry, like basically when the budget can expire. So I'll just set it to let's just set it to 13th of May. Can be any time though, it doesn't matter. So the vault source, I have my own escrow smart intelligent smart contract that I wrote and then I deployed. So this is even the address. So basically it handles that automatically. I'll just click continue. And now you can preview everything. You can see Gen OS repository delivery check. The budget is 5 Gen layer. You can see the expiry, you can see everything. So we'll just click deploy mandate. So it's deploying on Bradbury. So I will just briefly sign this transaction, and then the mandate has been submitted, and you can see the hash over here. So we'll just wait until our mandate has actually been created. So as you can see, mandate is live on Bradbury. So at this point now, I will just switch over to another wallet. This wallet will be in charge of carrying out an action, that is actually doing the work. This is the wallet or the address that will be in charge of the work. So I'll switch to the worker's wallet. I'll just come and I'll see an active mandate over here. So I'll first see, let's read this mandate. I'll see basically the mandate and everything, and I'll see and I know the work that is required. So all I'll do is come to submit execution. When I come to submit execution, I'll see the mandate rules and review them, so I know that what I'm going to submit has to pass. And then what I'll do is come over here and put my address on this execution request. I'll just copy my address, I'll put, and then the amount of gain, this is the amount that I want to be paid, so I will just put it as 1. So the escrow must be funded with this exact amount at the end of the day, because this is the amount I want him to pay me for this work. So I just set it as 1, and then the description can be basically anything. I think I can just use anything though. I'll just be like the gain os repository contains has been created and contains this Bradbury enabled gain layer application with intelligent contract. And then finally I need my evidence URLs. Now this URL is the URLs that will prove that I actually did the work. This is the main thing here. So these are the URLs that show everything that needs to meet the requirements that my boss or whoever created this mandate submitted. So basically I'll just click submit to GainOS, and then I'll just sign the transaction. So the execution has been submitted, so it's submitting it. All this is happening live on Bradbury, so we'll just wait a few seconds. As you can see, execution queued for evaluation, so we'll switch to execution basically. So after some time, I think it's still fetching it from the Bradbury, so it will take a little while, but we should eventually see this place get updated with our execution that we just did. And then what's going to happen is I will now switch over to my workers wallet, or the address that I used to create that mandate. And when I switch over to it, I will now proceed to review the work. That is not me personally, but the AI, gain layers AI will basically do the review, and then we will now see if it passes the criteria or not. Okay, so it took a while, but eventually you can see that the execution is pending. That is it's showing a pending status, so it's left for me to allow the AI to review the work done. So I'll just disconnect over here, and I'll switch to the address that is created the mandate. Then I'll just connect wallet, and so I'll just click on review. So basically I can see his evidence, all his submitted URLs. So what I'm going to do is, first I will fund the escrow. I'll just fund it with 1 gain basically. I'll just click fund escrow, so it's funding. I'll just sign this confirm. So escrow funding has been submitted, and once the status will change over here that the escrow has been funded. So once it has been funded, we know that the money that can be paid is basically available on ground. All that is left is for the AI to check whether the work was actually done in accordance to the rules that was specified. So we'll just give it a bit of time, and then we'll continue. You can see the escrow funded has been funded on Bradbury. All that is left now is awaiting evaluation. I'll just click run gain layer evaluation, and I'll just basically sign this. So click confirm. So gain layer evaluation has started. So basically now the AIs are evaluating everything that this person submitted and checking it against the rules and everything that I specified when I created my mandate. So we'll just give it a little while to evaluate, and then we'll see if it is approved or not. Immediately it's approved, the money that I sent into this escrow is immediately sent to the address, that is the person who performed the task, immediately is released. So as you can see, it has been approved, and basically that is it. So I'll just click release escrow. I'll just sign this. Basically the release has been submitted. So basically for it to be approved, it means it had undergone several checks, and the reason is the submitted evidence proves the gain os repository exit is accessible, contains a gain layer powered application, intelligent contracts, and a front end. So that is basically how my app works.